Two possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe, or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. Sir Arthur Clarke.
Hey everybody, welcome back to One Candle Society with your hosts, Marcus D.
And Vic Whately.
And guys, we are counting down our top 5 favorite UFO crashes. Number 5. The Aurora Incident. Between 1896 and 1897, there were several sightings of a cigar-shaped mystery airship across the United States. On April 17, 1897, almost 5 years before the famous Wright brothers flight, a mysterious aircraft crashed into a windmill in the town of Aurora, Texas. When the residents of the town found the supposed pilot, the residents claimed he was not of this world. They buried the body in the local cemetery and dumped several pieces of the craft into a local well. Adding to the mystery was the story of Mr. Brawley Oates, who purchased the property the well sits on. He cleaned out the debris from the well in order to use it as a viable water source, but later developed an extremely severe case of arthritis, which he claimed to be the result of the contaminated water from the wreckage dumped into the well. News quickly circulated about the crash, with several eyewitness testimonials in the local newspapers. You can actually visit the grave of the alien when visiting Aurora, Texas. The contents of the grave are still a mystery to this day and remain one of the town's closely guarded secrets. Numerous requests for the grave to be exhumed have been denied, and it's not likely the residents will change their minds anytime soon.
Number 4. The Del Rio UFO Crash. In 1955, Colonel Robert Willingham, while flying his F-86 fighter jet on a bombing test run, spotted a large silver disc shooting across the sky. After calling back into base, getting permission to pursue the object to find out what exactly it was, he turned and began to pursue it. After a while, it began to grow unstable, tipping and turning in the air. After a short period of time, it began to rapidly descend, crashing into the hillside. At that point, he doubled back and returned to base. After returning there, he requested to take his two-seater back out where he could land near the object and check it out on foot. After arriving back there, he found a 300-foot gash torn in the earth from the sausage crash, and the large silver object waiting at the end for him. It had a large hole torn in the hull, where from within he could see 3 unhuman-looking bodies. He wished to examine further, but the lieutenant that flew there with him insisted that they had to wait for the U.S. Army to arrive. But before leaving, he did pocket a piece of the debris to bring back with him. He did have to return it over to the U.S. military, where upon testing they determined the metal could not be cut or burnt. Later in his life, during an interview on this, he was asked if he had seen any blood around the bodies. He went into further description. He said the bodies were highly mangled, but he did not remember seeing any blood. He described them as having large eyes, a thin mouth, no visible hair, and arms only about as wide as broomsticks. Pretty much, he described the classic gray.
Number 3. The Rendlesham Forest Encounter. Often called Britain's Roswell, around 3 a.m. on December 26, 1980, a security patrol near the east gate of the Royal Air Force Woodbridge saw lights apparently descending into nearby Rendlesham Forest. The servicemen initially thought it was a downed aircraft, but upon entering the forest to investigate, they saw, according to the base commander's memo, a glowing object, metallic in appearance, with colored lights. When they tried to get close to the object, it appeared to move through the trees, and the local animals were described as going into a frenzy. One of the servicemen, Sergeant Jim Pendleton, later claimed to have encountered a craft of unknown origin while in the forest, although there was no corroboration from other witnesses. After daybreak on the morning of December 26th, the servicemen returned to a small clearing near the eastern edge of the forest and found 3 small impressions in a triangular pattern, as well as burn marks and broken branches on nearby trees. The British Ministry of Defense stated the event posed no threat to national security and wasn't officially investigated further. They explained the sightings as a misinterpretation of lights from a nearby lighthouse, but many believers remain skeptical there's more to the story.
Number 2. The Shag Harbour event. In Shag Harbour, on October 4th, 1967, on a clear, cold Nova Scotia night, the people of this small community were visited by something they couldn't quite explain. Many residents of the area reported seeing a group of 5 glowing orange-yellow lights trailing through the sky, as it went from different witness to different witness. If you combine the stories, it seemed to have been slowly descending in altitude, as one witness said, as it quickly began to drop, about the area where it got to the harbor. Near the harbor at that same time, many witnesses reported hearing a loud, shrill whistle noise, as if a bomb dropping from the air, and reported seeing something glowing, quickly dropping into the waters of Shag Harbour. Many of the locals, believing this to be a crashed airplane, quickly got on their fishing boats and formed search and rescue teams. Upon getting out on the water, they didn't find any debris or survivors swimming out there, but they did notice something very odd, that the harbor was covered in a strange yellow foam that none of them had ever noticed before. Not long after that, diving teams were put together to search the bottom of the harbor. Although they didn't find a downed plane, they did seem to find an object down there that they weren't quite sure of what it was. Past this point, what happened to the UFO is a matter of no little amount of conjecture, but the one thing we can say is whatever was down there is yet to be confirmed.
Number 1. The Kecksburg UFO. The Kecksburg UFO incident occurred on December 9th, 1965, in Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. A large, brilliant fireball was seen by several people across 6 U.S. states and in parts of Ontario, Canada. It left pieces of debris over parts of Michigan and Ohio, starting small grass fires and causing sonic booms in the Pittsburgh metropolitan area. Eyewitnesses in the small village of Kecksburg, about 30 miles southeast of Pittsburgh, claimed something crashed in the woods. A local boy said he saw an object land in the woods, and his mother reported seeing wisps of blue smoke arising from the woods and alerted police.
Others from Kecksburg, including members of the local fire department, report finding an object resembling an acorn and about the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. When given the description of this object, they report finding a band of hieroglyphics around the base of the object. Although the U.S. government claims to have not found anything within the area, locals report seeing military flatbed trucks leaving, with something hidden underneath a large tarp. Theories about what actually they found out there range quite a bit, with some saying they found a Soviet satellite, and others saying they found a crashed alien spaceship.
Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to our video on our top 5 favorite UFO crashes.
I hope you guys enjoyed listening to it. We really enjoyed making it.
We know you guys loved UFO stuff. Our UFO stuff is always some of our fans' favorite stuff, so we were very happy to bring it to you guys.
And if there's any of these topics we touched on today you'd like to see us expound upon, just comment it below.
Yeah, leave us a comment, guys. We love fan suggestions, and we are always willing to do your guys' stuff that you let us know. Don't forget, keep believing.
Because we'll keep listening.